Welcome to the English with Kirsty podcast from www.englishwithkirsty.com. Here I'll be sharing with you tips, information and other learning resources so that you can improve your business English. Hello everybody, and I hope you're having a fantastic week. I'm having a better week because towards the end of last week I lost my voice, and that's really annoying when you're delivering training and recording audio material, and that's just a pain. But fortunately it's back now. So this week we're going to talk about the word, well, it's called I'll do it myself. The episode's called that, but really I want to talk about the word myself and the word me and the word I, because sometimes people choose the wrong one. And it's not just people who are learning English. When I'm reading my Facebook feed or my Twitter feed, I see that native speakers do this as well sometimes. So I wanted to have a look at these to make sure that you're not choosing the wrong word. So if you're going to say that you did something yourself, then it can have a number of meanings. So it can mean that you did it on your own without any help. So if I baked a delicious cake and it looked fantastic, then I might be proud of that and say, yeah, I made this myself. I didn't just go to the shop and buy one, which is what I usually do when I need a cake. I'll just go and buy one so my friends will know that I don't bake cakes very often. So I might make a point of saying, yeah, I made this myself, meaning I didn't get any help with it. So if I just say I baked the cake, it means, well, I did it, and that's just a fact. If I say I did it myself, it means I did it with no help and without going to the shop to buy one. And if you say you'll do something yourself, if you just say, oh, I'll do it, then it's a fact. It depends how you say it. If you say, oh, I'll do it, then it can sound like, oh, you're annoyed. But if you say, I'll do it myself, it could mean somebody's offered you help, like, well, thanks for the offer, but I'll do it myself, means thank you, I know you want to try and help me, but I want to do this on my own. Or if you say it in an annoyed way, again, it can mean, oh, I've asked you so many times to do this and you haven't done it, well, I'll just do it myself, fine. So it really depends on how you put the emphasis on the words that will affect the meaning. This myself word, we also use it in sentences where you did something to yourself. So I hurt myself. You did it. Maybe you fell over and hurt yourself. Because if somebody else hurt you, by accident hopefully, but then it would be they hurt me, because they did the action, they did it to you, they hurt me. You did the action, you did it to yourself, you hurt yourself. And to be proud is another example. So I've written most of my new book. So I could say I'm proud of myself because it was a lot of words in not very many days. If somebody else was proud that I'd done that, they would be proud of me, but I'm proud of, well, I could say I'm proud of myself. And he was proud of himself, but his mum was proud of him. So if you're not doing the action, you just need a, of him, of her kind of word. But if it's the person being proud and they're proud of themselves, then he was proud of himself, she was proud of herself. And there's something to watch out for here, because in some languages there are words which are reflexive that aren't in English. So, for example, to feel is one that often comes up with German speakers. So, I feel tired. I feel hungry. So in English, these, you don't need myself, yourself, himself. It's just a fact. How do you feel? And then add that word on. So I feel tired. I feel happy. Whatever it is, you don't need myself there. So make sure that where you want to put it is a verb that actually needs it in English. So in terms of the problems, it's usually when other people are involved in the sentences. So if people were just writing about themselves, they wouldn't make these mistakes with myself. But when other people are involved, they use it in places where it doesn't belong. So in a lot of these cases, a tip is to take away the other people, take them completely out of the sentence, and then see if what you want to say still makes sense. Because you wouldn't say, well, you hopefully wouldn't say, myself went on holiday. or me went on holiday. That just sounds strange. You know, it's got to be I went on holiday. And so in the same way, you can't say myself and my boyfriend went on holiday. You can't say myself went on holiday. So equally, you can't say myself and my boyfriend, or my boyfriend and myself went on holiday. It's got to be my boyfriend and I went on holiday. Or I went on holiday with my boyfriend is okay too. But you don't need myself anywhere in this sentence. And sometimes people use it with for. So please book the tickets for my boss and me. That's right, because someone else is booking the tickets. You're not saying I booked the tickets for myself. You're asking somebody else to do it. So please book them for my boss and who? You wouldn't say book the tickets for I, so it can't be for my boss and I. You wouldn't say book the tickets for myself, or if you did, it would be wrong because somebody else is doing the action. It's got to be for me. Please book them for me. And so therefore, please book them for my boss and me. So when you've taken away the other people, you'll see whether you can use this myself or whether it's I, like my neighbours invited my partner and me to dinner. It's not my partner and I, because you can't say she invited I to dinner. That would be wrong. So therefore, it's got to be she invited me. And she's not going to invite myself because she's doing the action. It can only be myself if I'm doing the action. So I hope that's cleared things up a bit in terms of when to use myself, when you don't need to use it, when to use me, and when to use I. I could have gone through the rules about when you use me and I may do that another time, but I wanted to point out some of the mistakes that people make, and also to give this tip about taking away the other people and seeing if you want to say still makes sense. So that was the main point that I wanted to talk about. I also wanted to say thank you to those of you who wrote to me with feedback. Thank you to those people who answered the question about what makes it difficult for you to learn English. I've taken that on board and you'll probably be seeing something around those issues soon. And I just wanted to read out some more general feedback that I got. So last week the episode was about being interrupted in meetings and how to get your point across. So Jose said, "Dear Kirsty, I enjoyed your podcast very much, episode 27. I have been working for 40 years in enterprises and have plenty of meetings. My challenges have always been to have an agenda, as you mentioned in your podcast. I consider it critical to request the attendees to get ready for the meeting, to deliver and share results. Depending upon how difficult it is to keep control of the meeting, it's good to set upfront some rules about participation time for each member. So it is key to have a moderator or facilitator." So this is true. It's the best way to have a good meeting is to be organized at the beginning, to have your agenda, to have somebody who's moderating the meeting and making sure that everybody can speak and make their voice heard. And also so that everybody knows what's going to happen at that meeting and they can prepare for it accordingly. So thank you for that feedback. And the second piece of feedback we got was from Corinne from Bite Sized English. And she said, "I enjoyed today's podcast, episode 27, about dealing with interruptions. As a fellow business English trainer, I know how frustrating it can be for learners not to be listened to or even acknowledged in a business meeting. This is especially so for women in male-dominated environments like finance, technology and engineering or architecture, for instance. One thing I tell my learners is that if it takes them a while to get their contribution straight in their head, meaning that discussion might already have moved on or look like it is about to, in this case I find that there are two considerations. A, address the fact that the conversation has moved on with something like, actually, before we move on, there is an important point that I think we need to make. Bearing in mind and then carrying on. And B, Be assertive with the use of your voice, body language, and even dress code. It's easy to feel timid or intimidated in a foreign language, but rise above that. You know your stuff. Speak loudly and clearly and use the bullet points you've just scribbled down to make your point, but use eye contact to get your audience attention. So thank you for that, for both of you, both to Jose and Corinne, both for your feedback. That was great. I love to hear from people. And if anyone here has anything they want to say about the meetings or the myself, me mistakes, then it would be great to hear from you. Also, I'll leave the question up about problems and things that have made it hard for you to learn English, because I would still like to know about those. So I'll leave that there for one more week. And so it would be great to hear from you. You can send me an email at kirsty@englishwithkirsty.com, or you can fill in the form on the show notes page, which is www.englishwithkirsty.com/podcast/episode 28. Or if you're on Twitter, I'm English with K, so just the letter K, English with K on Twitter. So you can either tweet me there, or you can follow me if you want to have information in your Twitter feed about learning English, quizzes and idioms and articles about English and learning languages. So I'm looking forward to hearing from you soon, and I hope you have a good week. I'll be back again next week with some more tips and information about learning English. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the English with Kirsty podcast. If you have any questions or comments, my email address is kirsty@englishwithkirsty.com, or you can go to www.englishwithkirsty.com/podcast, where you'll find information about the individual episodes.